friends. Welcome to Love's Inner Voice, the path of self-discovery. So glad you're here today to see you. Today is World Kindness Day. And one of the things that I've been doing today is noticing how should shows up in my life, because we're going to be talking about that later with our guest, Diane Forrester. For now, let's do our heart breathing just to bring us into the now. I'll teach you how to do it if you're new here. Breathe in. Imagine that you're going to breathe in through your heart, down into your lungs, down into your core, to the count of 4, and breathing in the light of love and whatever the divine is for you. And as you breathe out anything that you're ready to release into the loving hands of the light. And let's do that 3 or 4 times with your eyes closed. And if my mentioning should brought up any feelings, notice that. Notice where you feel it in your body and release whatever you're willing to let go of. Breathe in and breathe out. This is called heart breathing. And if you want to know more about it, you can check out heartmath.com. So wonderful. It allows me to just notice where I am now. Welcome, welcome, welcome. So blessed that you're here. I'd like to share a short little promo video of Constance Chapman, who is going to be on my show in the future. And I think you'll really enjoy seeing that show because she teaches us how to doodle and how that helps us move into our joy. So here's a little bit about that show before we move on, and welcome Diane. Take a look. Hello, my friends. Brenda L. Balding here. The L stands for Love's Inner Voice, my TV show on I Have Today TV network on the E360 network. Please join me at 4 p.m. on Thursdays Pacific time. I have a guest coming up, Constance Chapman, and we're going to be talking about how to free your joy through creativity. So we're going to be talking about how we hide our joy or how it's hidden from us, and we get to doodle. So come join us on Thursdays at 4 p.m. Pacific time. Thank you. Continue to have an amazing day. Bye for now. You know, life is full of all kinds of things to learn when I'm willing to listen. And you know, I've been blessed with a wonderful coach. Her name is Diane Forrester, and I'm going to tear up because that's what I do. And you know that. And she's here today. She's already given us some tips. And I would love for you to welcome her. We're going to be talking about leave the shoulds behind and thrive. And Diane is an award-winning TV host for her show, I Have Today. And I am on her network. I'm blessed to be on her network with Diane Forrester. And she is also the winner of the American Mindset Coach Award. I Have Today Network is the first and only personal development and transformative TV network for women over 40. And as you know, I can raise my hand to that. She just launched her brand new podcast called Be a TV star host. And we have a free gift so you can check that out later, which is rapidly growing and ranking as one of the top news and noteworthy podcasts. Diane is so passionate, and she truly is, about helping women in their 40s, 50s, 60s, and beyond to live happy, fulfilling, and amazing lives. And her TV network, as well as her Star TV Host Academy programs, are helping women like me and like you to become stars and to reinvent ourselves, to live intentionally. And her goal is to help 1 billion women. And her network and programs are on their way to making that happen. And I am so blessed to be part of that dream, that mission. She's won several awards. She's been on several TV shows. And I'm just going to welcome her. She also has created a product that won awards also, and it's called the Spifter. It's a really cool little thing. You'll have to check it out on her website, www.dianeforster.com. Please welcome Diane to the studio. So glad you're here, Diane. Such a blessing.
Brenda, I am so honored, and it's going to be hard for me to keep it together too, because I'm honored and I'm so proud of you. And I mean that in the most humble, grateful way that you are putting your beautiful work, and this show is so beautiful. The energy around it is so beautiful. And I'm so blessed to be here with you today. So I'm excited about our conversation. Yes.
Thank you. One of the things, should has always been a challenge for me because it's the first word in the anagram shame. Should have already mastered everything. Because when I'm in should, I think that I am supposed to know everything. Well, you know what? I'm human and I don't. But Diane talks about it in her book, A Better Today. And she has a whole chapter on should. Well, it's a page and a half. And then you get to document how you walked with should in that day. And I just love that. What encouraged you to put should in your book?
Because I know what an issue it is for so many people, whether you're shitting on other people or you're shitting on yourself. And I know that personally for me, when I hear the words "you should," it immediately puts up my guard, because it's just a defense thing. I'm already feeling feelings of insecurity or lack of worthiness or ineffectiveness or, just inadequacy in whatever it is that I'm going through. So when someone projects, well, you should do this, it's coming typically from someone who hasn't done the thing that I'm going through. So it's coming from the perspective of someone without the actual experience. And people do that. They think they know better than somebody else. And most of the times, Brenda, you know this, that when we are hearing it from somebody, it is coming from a place of kindness and love. It is. It's not intended to be hurtful or patronizing. It's still not received that way when we feel it. And when we should on ourselves, it's the same thing. I should have known better. I should have done better. I should be further along. I shouldn't be doing that. And so I wrote about it because I think it's really important for us to highlight that where that is showing up in our lives. And once we create the awareness about it, then we can change it and do something about it.
Yeah. That's so important about noticing it and having the willingness to look at it and to change it without judging ourselves. That's the hard part,
Mm-hmm.
I've found. And if
Yes.
I don't do that, I tend to move into resentment. And I certainly don't need that, and neither does anybody else,
Mm-hmm.
because, life isn't about one-upsmanship,
Yeah.
although that seems to be the energy out there these days.
Yeah. And we're all on this journey, on our own path along the way on this journey. No one is further along or better than or anything. And if you, wherever you are right now, is where you're supposed to be.
Yeah.
It's not that it should be any different. It is what it is, and being able to be aware of that. And so, if you read my book, I'm big on language, and that is one of the
Mhm.
words, and being able to reframe so that you can, feel feel better, feel at peace, be in a place of kindness, compassion, and forgiveness for self first. That book is all about self-love, self-awareness. And
Mhm.
um, when I catch myself, if I'm about to say you should, I'll say, perhaps you could think about this, or have you considered that? Have you tried that? What about? And that is a much softer way, even for myself, when I say
Mhm.
things like I've done things that I feel regret or anger or shame around. Um, I could do better next time. I get to do better
Mhm.
next time.
Yeah.
I did the best that I could from that moment. And that's what my capacity was, emotionally, mentally, physically, spiritually. That's where I was. And we are human, we're here to experience. And so we have emotions. We have the baggage, we have the memory bank, we have the trapped trauma, we're carrying all this around at all times. To expect us to always react and respond in a way that we deem is the way we'd like to is just not realistic. It's just not realistic.
Yeah.
So we're going to have those human moments. So yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
And what I find is when I'm in the should, or the if only, or the what ifs, or anything like that, because they're all the same energy in my experience, I'm going, oh, then I realize, who's in control? Is it my feeling that's in control? Is it some outside energy that's in control that's kind of encouraged me to think this way? Or is it some part of me that I haven't acknowledged yet? And
Mm,
that's part of the self discovery that we want to do, that I encourage people to do, to start asking those tough questions and being willing to figure it out.
yeah.
Because you mention how we can feel all of these things and support and self-care, and there's so many people out there that consider self-care selfish,
Right. Right.
and you speak to the difference of that. Can you share that?
Well, I believe that, yeah, and I wrote about it in my first book, I have
Yes,
to say.
you
I don't
did.
know. You know, being selfish in a really kind way is what I call it. Be as selfish as you can be. Please be selfish. Please take care of yourself. Please nurture yourself. Please have self-awareness, self-appreciation, self-esteem, self-worth, self-acknowledgement, all of those things that I consider being selfish in a really good way. Because when you nurture yourself first, we come into this world as one, and we leave it the same way. And so
Mm-hmm.
um, I remember someone in my family told me during the pandemic that I was so selfish because I made a decision not to have the vaccination. That was my choice. And I said, I think I've earned the right to decide what I can and can't do to my body. And that's not selfish. I feel I am protecting myself because myself, that's what I believe in. I'm choosing to make a decision because I serve the world so greatly. So if that's, I didn't believe in vaccines before the pandemic. So it wasn't a like a moral thing or anything. It was just a health decision for myself. And
Mm-hmm.
so I did all the precautionary things. I always had a mask on. It wasn't anything like that, that it was careless or reckless. That was just a decision that I made for myself. And when you're quote unquote selfish, you may get flack from people who haven't learned the value and importance of putting self first. And I
Mm-hmm.
want to share a story, if that's okay. You know, I,
Sure.
I heard a lot of people when I reinvented my life back in 2015 and I quit my corporate job. I sold my house and everything in it. I got my twins off to college and I made the bold decision to move from Chicago to San Diego to create I Have Today. A very few percentage of people would do what I did. Very, very few. But a lot of people had a lot of opinions about it. You shouldn't do that. How could you leave your high paying job? You're almost retired there. You're almost vested there. How could you not have a home for your kids to come home to from, college breaks? How could you this? How could you sell this furniture? All those things. And I said, my life, my choice. My life, my choice. And I thought a lot about it, and I did it. I thought it through. It wasn't an overnight decision. It was something that I planned for a year. In my mind, I was planning it for a year. And Brenda, I taught my children the greatest lesson in the world, because if I had stayed behind, it would have been for them. First of
Mm-hmm.
all, they never came home. Not one summer, not once. Jobs, they were launched, they were off. And I would have taught them that somebody else's dreams matter more than mine, even if they're my children, right?
Mm-hmm.
And
Yeah.
so I taught them the lesson that your dreams come first. Your dreams matter. Don't put off what you want in your life because of somebody else. And when we do that, everyone who's listening and watching this, what you're doing is you're teaching those around you to do the same thing. So what I love so much about you is, Brenda, you took the leap. You were scared and you did
Yep.
it anyway. You were willing to do it. At the difficult times when you didn't know how and you were confused, you let go of that and said, it's something new for me to learn. You embraced it, right? And so now, because of that, you have this beautiful show empowering, inspiring, and helping so many people in the world. And that took you being selfish on your part in the best way. It was you
Mm-hmm.
not willing to die with your music in you or your knowledge. You told me flat out, I feel like I have so much to share with the world and I don't know how to do it and I don't want to do it alone. And here you are. Here you are. So I want to encourage everyone to be selfish in a really good way, because what you're doing is you're fulfilling your soul's purpose, and you are teaching all of those around you to respect you and admire you and understand your boundaries, and you're teaching them to how to have them too. So that's my belief, that that is truly the greatest thing you can be in the world, is selfish in a really good way. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's all part of self-care for me.
Hmm.
More the willingness. What am I willing to do? Because if I show up authentically in a way that supports me, then, like you say, I'm going to be supporting others too, and I'm going to be mentoring them unconsciously,
Yes,
and
exactly.
yeah, and that's how I can support them. Because if I'm walking the path of health, because this is also a healthful way to live, when
Yes.
I'm deeply honest with myself and when I'm the most authentic I can be, always subject to change because I'm always learning more. There's
Yeah.
always more to learn.
It
And
is.
that's okay. And that to me is a gift because it's an adventure and it makes life an adventure too.
Mhm. It does. It does. How
Yeah. And
beautiful.
you talked about the adventure of your children and how they went off and found their own adventure. And you did the same thing.
Mm-hmm.
And it's an ongoing adventure, and it's choose to walk it or choose to leave it.
Yes.
That's our choice.
Yes.
And you mentioned choice in both of your books that I've read,
Mm,
because it's so important. What encourages us to choose? Is it kindness? Is it compassion? Is it willingness? Or is it, I need this, I got to be better than?
right.
Because unfortunately, our culture right now is power and I have to be better than.
Yes.
That's not my belief or the energy that I want to carry around. Can you speak to that?
Well, that's why I love that you do this show and that you are a part of our television network, because we are spreading unconditional love and joy and compassion and creating more awareness for the positivity and the gifts that we all are, because there is so much negativity out there. And I worked in the industry for decades, so I know what I'm talking about. So I appreciate that. And when I speak about choice and I write about choice, it's
Yes.
because we are ultimately the ones in the power. It's not the quote unquote powers that be. It isn't the
Mhm.
government. It isn't the corporations. It isn't the industries. It isn't. It's a choice within us, truly, on how we want to live and feel and act every day. Like that is our choice, despite whatever circumstances are going on, even in moment to moment instances throughout your day, you get the choice. You could have something happen where the washing machine breaks, and then you get a call, and you got fired, or things, life happens, and um, they're going to happen. So it's not that things won't happen to you, it's what you choose to do with what happens to you.
Yep.
And I've come to the place, and it took me a while, a long time to get here, but I've come to the place where there are no mistakes, really. So if my washing machine broke and then I lost my job, well, something's coming to me. Something greater is coming to me. I know this is for my, I know, I know the benevolent. I know the universe. I know God and spirit. I know it's only positivity. So it could only be something that's moving me in a little different direction. That's all. That they want my
Mhm.
attention somewhere else. And so um, you can choose to say, "Oh, all right, that washing machine was rattling for so long anyway. Now I finally have to do something about it." And the position, I just spoke to somebody yesterday, and she got goosebumps when I said this to her, because it's not my quote; it's somebody else's that I read, because she's in this push pull thing in her business that is going very, very well. And she's feeling this calling to move, to host a TV show, move in that direction. And I said, sometimes you have to let go of the good to get to the great. And that is a choice too. And she went, "Oh my God, you're right. Yeah, it's good, but is it great? Is it the thing that you really want?" And she said, It's really not. And so that's a choice that she gets to make to move in that direction. So you always have the choice to choose how you want to respond to something, how you want to feel about something. And so that's something that I want you to create awareness around. And I call it the ABCs, that awareness begets change. Once you're aware, oh, I'm shitting all over myself, or I'm not choosing to self-love and self-care, I'm not choosing not to be selfish, and I'm making decisions where my thoughts are thinking negative things that are taking me down the spiral. That's the time to choose to stop, do your beautiful breaths, just like you did, Brenda, and reassess and go, what is spirit trying to tell me, or the universe,
Mhm.
God or whatever you believe in, what is the message for me here? Because it is something, and it is something moving you in the right direction.
Yep. Whatever that direction is, thank you for saying that. The ABCs, awareness begets change.
Mm-hmm.
And that's so important. And, life can be good. And my life was good when I retired. I just didn't know what else was out there, and that I was going to start a whole new career, that I would be an author, that I would be a TV show host, and, who knows what's next. And one of the best things we can do to support ourselves and to continue to thrive, no matter our age, our circumstances, our anything, is to be willing to notice, like Diane said, and to choose to move into great. And
Yes.
that's not selfish in the negative sense. That's self awareness and self growth, and the willingness to be a conduit and a gift to the world
Yes.
from the divine is how I see it. And you do mention, the divine or the sacredness. How does that show up in your life, Diane? You've mentioned it a couple times.
Well, I'm extremely connected, quote unquote connected. When I went through my reinvention, I was raised Catholic, but we weren't very religious. And by the time I made my um, confirmation, church was done for us. We just wasn't part of our lives, so I really didn't have a spiritual guidance in my life. Nothing else was resonating with me until my suicide attempt. And right before then, like, the awakening was starting to happen for me. And when I say awakening, what I mean is the questions started to come. Is this all there is? There's a higher power. I know there is. I was into astrology because my grandmother, who died when I was 3 years old, she was a gypsy, and she read cards, and she tarot leaves, tea leaves, and my aunt had the gift, and my mother had a little bit of the gift, and I had the gift and didn't know I had the gift, and until that moment. And once I had that breakdown, it was as if it was waiting all the time. So I want to stay on point, because I mentioned that what I know, from a scientific perspective, for the logical viewer who's watching us and listening to this, that the quantum field is real. There is no separation. Everything is made out of energy and atoms, and we are all inextricably connected together. I mean, there is no separation from anything. It's all made out of the same wave and frequency, and thought turns it into form. So I won't even go down that alley, because we'll be here all day talking about it. But it's been
We
proven.
could.
It's been proven. So from the scientific perspective, that's over there. From the spiritual perspective, if everything is all at once, then there is no past, present, future. There is
Mhm.
only the now. And so the decision for this form, this person I am, the being that I am, to come into thought and form in this body, doesn't mean that I didn't come at some other time in history or in the future in a different form. Meaning that there are angels and guides and support, that the energy, the physical body may be gone, but the energy still exists. So when I say spirit, I'm talking about the collective consciousness, the
Right.
collective super mind of the world that encompasses everything. And so what I will do is have the ability now, mostly to hear and know. I hear and know. I have felt before. I've literally been shoved and pushed. And this morning, I was talking and someone was going like this on my head. It was my girlfriend's girlfriend who passed away with a message, and I have seen physical beings. So I don't promote this, Brenda. I don't. It's not something that I'm out there touting. It's just a part of who I am, and it's been
Mhm.
I've been able to embrace it and facilitate it and use it in my life. So when I'm speaking of the higher power, that's what it is for me. When I say the word
Mhm.
spirit, it is God, it is Jesus, it is any entity that you think and hold in that space that you pray to and hold light to. It's my mother and my grandmothers, and it's my ancestors. So
Mhm.
that's what it means for me. And it's a collective, and I say they, and whoever comes through comes through. That's how it is.
I love that. Thank you for sharing that for the audience.
Yeah.
Diane, I'm a lot the same way because I'm empathic, and I do uh, communicate in a way that I never knew I did, mostly through healing hands, which I did and didn't even know I was doing it
Mhm.
until I learned Reiki healing. And I went, oh, I've been doing this my whole life. Duh.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, it doesn't matter. Spirit doesn't care what we call it. To
Mm-mm.
me, it's love and light,
Yeah.
and sometimes I call my higher power dear ones because they want me to do, because those are the initials.
Yeah.
They want me to take action.
I love
So,
that. I love that.
and
Yeah.
it's dear ones with an S. So they're, Michael Archangel, or they're Gabriel Archangel, or they're the universe, or it's, I love the Aurora Borealis, which is why I chose these colors, because I've seen it and experienced it, and it was a spiritual experience. And I've actually danced in the Aurora Borealis with spirit. And it's, in not in real life, but in
Yes.
spirit.
Yeah.
And it's magical, and it's being willing to stop, breathe, and listen.
Yeah. Mhm.
It's not all about asking, it's about saying thank you for what's coming.
Right.
And to
Right.
me, that's kindness for myself and for anyone else out there.
Yes.
Because this is World Kindness Day, and
Yeah.
this is part of what we're hoping we can be for you.
Hmm. Yeah.
Diane, we're getting close to closing down. Is there any final thing you would like to share?
Well, I'm so grateful to be here. Thank you for this space. And remember that your show is creating love and light in the world, and you are part of the collective in for the good. And so that my analogy is, there's so much muck in the cup, and if we keep pouring it with clear water and keep filling it with the clear water, then the muck will continue to go away. And that is how we serve in the world. And I'm so grateful to be here and spend time with you. And you've given me this platform to share some things that I haven't talked about in a long time. It's so fun. And I love being on this journey with you. So
Thank
congratulations
you.
on your beautiful show. And thank you for having me.
Thank you so much. And I understand you have a free gift for our audience. Would you like to talk about that?
I would. One of the things that I know has meant a lot to the hosts that I work with, because my mission, as you know, is to touch the lives of 1 billion women. And thank you in part to you, Brenda, because you are part of the community that's creating that ripple effect for that to happen. And I want to give you a free gift of the 7 secrets to become a dynamic TV host, whether you decide to have a TV show or not. Showing up on video with your message, like Brenda does, and putting yourself out there in a way that really gets attention and gets you noticed and gets you, makes the impact that you want to make. So that is my free gift. And yeah, the link is up there. It's at tvstarhost.com/secrets. And that is my gift to you and the audience. Thank you so much for having me here today. Yeah.
Thank you so much. And if you're interested in her books, you can find out more about what Diana has to offer at www www.dianeforster, FORSTER.com. So check her out because she's a powerhouse.
Oh, thank you.
And there's a whole lot of us that are enjoying her energy and her wisdom
Yeah, look
because,
at them all. There
yeah,
they are. There's my
there we
ladies.
are.
There you
There we
are.
are. Thank you for showing that.
Of course.
And be well, Diane. Blessings.
Blessings to you too. Thank you.
Thank you. Oh, what a beautiful show. Thank you so much, Diane. And please don't forget her free gift. Let's put it up there one more time for anyone that's interested. Thank you so much. You know, I was telling somebody at a meeting today, life is a bowl of cherries. And somebody said, but there's a lot of pits. And I go, yeah, those are the challenges. I consider those the gifts of what I can learn or what I might need to let go of to thrive like the shoulds. So thank you, Diane, for bringing that to our attention. And I encourage you, besides checking out her free gift, to notice this coming week the shoulds, where they show up in your life. If you're not thinking them, is there somebody around you that's thinking them? How are you responding to that? And then go into your heart breathing when you notice that so you can learn about where it's coming from. And you might be able to be present and share that with someone else. Ask them the difficult questions. Oh, gee, where is that coming from? That's an interesting perspective. How does that feel to you? Without pointing a finger or making a judgment. So I encourage you to notice when the shoulds show up in your life. You're thinking, somebody else says it, because none of us want to be in resistance or judgment. We all want to be, as my hope is, walking in the light of love, self-discovery, and listening to love's inner voice. Thank you so much for being here. Let's listen to some beautiful music as we do some end show breathing for anything that might have come up during this show of things that we talked about so that we can let them go if you're ready to. So let's do some heart breathing. In through your heart, down into your lungs, down into your core. You can close your eyes or not, it's up to you. So the count of 4 or 5, whatever's comfortable for you. Hold it for 4 or 5. And then breathe out anything that you're ready to let go of into the loving arms of the divine, whatever that is for you. And breathe in light and love and let it go throughout your body and notice anything that you're feeling. Let go of those shoulds. Thank you all for being here. Continue doing that breathing for a little while longer, and we'll see you next time. Blessed be.